My name's Daniel Rawlinson.
Okay.
Fab. Okay, great. Okay, so first question. If a customer asked about an activity or a club you didn't know much information about, what would you say or do?
I'd take them to the activity or the area where the activity takes place and briefly explain to them what it's all about.
Great. Okay, how would you respond if you were in the reception area and you could hear the telephone ringing whilst observing that the duty manager was dealing with a line of customers? What would you do in that situation?
I'd probably go to the phone and then talk to the customers after, as people on the phone might not be able to get there, whereas customers might be patient enough to wait for the service.
Brilliant, yeah, so you'd put things in priority and
Yeah.
Great. Okay, what skills would you like to focus on and personally develop if appointed to the post of leisure assistant?
The skill that I'd most focus on would be my communication skills, as I need to interact with the customers very well and make sure their experience is good at the leisure centre.
Yep. Is there any other skills you can think of that you could maybe develop or?
IT skills as well,
Yeah,
with
great.
working on computers, and maybe some non-verbal skills that the customers might be able to pick up on when I'm communicating with them.
Great. So like, when you're dealing with customers and everything,
Yeah,
and customer
like
service.
non-verbal communication skills.
Fab, brilliant. So when it comes to a stressful situation, has there been a situation where you've been in that you think, oh, that's really stressful, and how did you deal with that? It could be stuff to do with school, maybe a job that you've got outside of school.
GCSEs were stressful, and I just found time to prioritise what I needed to revise most, and putting them into order of importance is what
Great.
I need to revise more than others.
Fab. And have you got a lifeguard qualification?
I do not know.
No. Do you swim? Is that something that you?
No.
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 No, that's fine. That's all good. Okay, and just also, have you ever been given any negative feedback that you think that you've had to improve on? And was there anything that you kind of felt like, oh, that was quite negative, but I've overcome that?
There's been times in school where the teacher's been told me to, if I've been stuck, to put my hand up because I'm one of the quiet ones.
Okay, yeah.
And I've reacted by starting to do that, as it helps me progress in with knowledge.
Great, that's great. Fab?
Okay, can you describe, Danny, what you would consider to be the key roles for a leisure assistant? So if you're working in a leisure centre, what would you say the most important things are that you need to do?
I think you'd need to know like a brief amount of information about each activity and event, as if a customer is stuck and don't know anything, then you'll need to inform them what it's about and what it is. And also, I think you need good communication skills, as it's important to interact with the customer as well.
Okay, what about technical skills, and not IT skills, you've mentioned that, but what other skills might you need to be a leisure assistant? What else do you think the leisure assistant would have to do? So you've talked about communication, what else do you think, and you've seen leisure assistants working here, what else do they have to do?
Just like reassuring the customers, and
Would you need to set up equipment, do you think?
yeah, need to set up equipment so it's ready for the customers to use when they arrive.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're prepared and ready to start the exercise on time.
Okay, what about changing rooms?
They need to be ready and prepared for the customers to be able to get changed efficiently.
Okay, and if there's a problem in the changing rooms, okay, what would you do about it?
I'd take a look at the changing rooms and see what the problem is, and then if it's not within my expertise, I could ask another member of staff to solve that problem.
Okay, so going down, talking a little bit there about housekeeping and making sure things are clean and tidy. Why is that essential in a place like this?
It's essential as it gives the leisure centre a good image and good representation, as it shows the customers that we keep it clean and we like to look after everything and all of our facilities.
Very good. So with that in mind, again, can you tell us a little about what you know about health and safety?
In school and GCSE we've done about things like radar and...
Tell us a little bit about what RIDDOR is. Can you remember what RIDDOR is?
Is what making sure that... I'm not sure.
Okay. So RIDDLE is to do with reporting of injuries. So what it is, it's a form that's filled out and it reports it, so if there's a death or something like that. And anything else you can think of for health and safety?
Oh,
Things like protective clothing, manual handling.
yeah, so like if there's like any extensions like building, like we need to have like protective gear and helmets and things like that.
Okay, very good. So with the facility here, you've got the job, a customer comes in and says, right, I'm thinking of coming to the leisure centre, what are you going to showcase, what are you going to show?
We'd ask them what their interests are, and then if their interests are within this leisure centre, we'll take them to the area of the activity and we'll briefly explain to them what it is and give them like a brief overview.
Okay, so what are the facilities here, what have we got here in our leisure centre?
We've got obviously basketball courts inside, and we've also got football nets for indoor football, and we can also like move them outside if needs be. We've also got a natural turf if they prefer to play on that. So you've got the range of like different surfaces to play on, and then you've also got the squash courts inside, and also the we've also got hockey as well.
Okay. What about the athletics track?
We've got the athletics track, and then we can use that for sports day and things like that.
Okay. What about Go Active membership? Do you know anything about that?
Not really, no.
So how might you find out about the Go Active membership?
By going on the website and researching about it and finding out information about myself to then provide that information to the customers.
Okay, how might you provide that information? So as a customer, I said to you, you work in this leisure centre, can you just tell me a little about the Go Active packages, and you can't find it, how would you communicate it to me?
I'd say that there's different levels of membership, which obviously would vary in prices, and then it's up to them. Obviously, the higher level memberships will come with like more benefits to like having a membership.
Okay, and then finally for me, what things might you need to communicate to a visitor on a day-to-day basis? So if somebody walks in the leisure centre, what do you think might be important that they need to know about?
They could like give just like brief information about the company itself, and then also what services and products it provides if they ever want to like look around.
Do you think it's important to tell them about any emergency procedures?
Yeah, because then it reassures the customers that they're in a safe environment when at the leisure centre.
Okay, that's fine for me. Any questions, miss?
No, I think that's, yeah.
Anything you want to ask?
No.
No. Okay.